What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another video slash podcast of the Dynasty Dweebs. As you know, we've covered the Browns and the Steelers for their fantasy outlooks and their dynasty outlooks. Now we're going to be covering the Cincinnati Bengals. Joined here with Jim Brooks.
The big old Bungles today. I'm excited.
Yep. So the plan for the week is to do the Bengals and the Ravens. And then we're going to dive into a little bit of a tight end video on Friday, boys.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Jim, you ready to get right into this one?
Oh, yeah. Let's hop right into the quarterback discussion.
All right. So as you know, Andy Dalton has moved on to the Cowboys, and now we have Joe Burrow. So let's just take a look at how does this work? Andy Dalton says Andy Dalton. This isn't right, but whatever. Okay, so Andy Dalton played 13 games last year, had 528 attempts. Do you need to look at – let's not look at Dalton's stats to compare to what Burrow is going to put up because that's not a good way to do this. What do you think Burrow is going to do his first year?
I think
I'm not asking stat for stat, but you know.
Yeah, I think I'm not super excited about Joe Burrow. I know the numbers from college show that he looks like he's going to be just a guy who comes in the league tearing it apart. But I think he's in a really tough division to excel in. I think he has a lot of talent around him in his receiving core in his backfield, but you know, you don't always translate very well from college to the NFL.
Yeah. So do you think he could finish what's the highest he finishes in? Can he finish in your top 20 this year?
Yeah, 100%.
Top 15.
I think that's where I'm kind of
that's a reach.
I don't think he'll be a 1 through 12 QB1 his rookie year.
Yeah, and then the biggest question kind of is Burrow, or not to get off topic, but Burrow or Tua.
Mm-hmm. Or Justin Herbert. No.
Okay, so he has tons of weapons. I guess we'll go. There's more to say. Joe Burrow, like you said, the talent in college was huge. The hype is there. And I love him in a dynasty, from the dynasty perspective. I think he's going to be a great quarterback down the road, but I agree that, this first year is going to be rough. Mm-hmm. The defenses in this division are pretty nasty. And I know this O-line is not the best. Mm-hmm. I know Joe Mixon really struggled with this O-line last year. And
I think didn't they draft a lineman after as well, actually, to try and help out?
I think so, but dude, they need to that O-line needs to get their shit together.
Mm-hmm.
They get a block for this guy. Mm-hmm. But let's go over.
They drafted a tackle in the 6th round, actually.
Very nice. Let's go over the rushing first. Let's take a look at Big Joe Mixon. Mm-hmm. 16 games played. Love to see it. 278 attempts. 1,000-yard year. 1,100 yards, to be more specific. Averaging 4.1 yards per carry. Longest rush, 41 yards. 5 touchdowns. It was an not overwhelming year from Joe Mixon. People were very disappointed with the value of where you had to draft him.
Well,
Joe Mixon go up from here, boys.
Joe Mixon finished in standard the number 11 running back and the number 13 in PPR, which isn't bad. But his ADP last year, no, because the front half of his season was so poor.
Yeah,
and he was basically at best a flex through the first 8 games of the year.
Dude, there were some games he's posting up 5 points.
The first game of the season 2.7, 4.2, 16, 8, 11, 4, 6, 15. It wasn't
love
good.
Joe Mixon because there's no one behind him. It's just Giovanni Bernard.
Mm-hmm. I mean, he has the volume there. Absolutely. He's only went up in attempts every single year so far. the one thing we did see from his second year in the league in 2018 to 19 was a drop in his yards per carry by almost a yard, which he's still averaging over 4.
I don't think that's his fault, though. I'm not going to put that on him.
No, 100%. I mean, the line was not good.
Yeah, and the team, like, we always have to look at the script, right? Like, if you're playing behind,
they're not going to be running the ball as much.
The ball.
Mm-hmm.
So he's still an RB1 for me, easily.
Oh, yeah. I think he definitely has that potential to be the number 1 guy now and move even further up.
I'm a huge fan, dude. I'm a huge fan. Jim Mixon.
After having him last year and then him really shitting the bed the first half of the year, just really that was frustrating. But he definitely became a more reliable, solid back the second half of the year.
I just know the volume's there, like,
and
with Joe Burrow being on the team, it makes it better for me.
Yeah, I agree.
So top 10 running back for me this year, PPR and standard, 100%.
I think he's like, if you're drafting and let's say you're in a 12 and he falls to like the 12 spot, and you can just stack 2 running backs right there and have Joe Mixon and another really good running back, it's great.
Joe Mixon or Nick Chubb?
At this point, you have to give it to Mixon because of Kareem Hunt.
That's what I say. I'm going to take the safe.
I forget who tweeted about it, but it was basically saying Nick Chubb before Kareem Hunt came off those suspension, he was like running back, I think like 5. I could be wrong. But then after he came back, he was like RB 23 or something.
Yeah, that's insane.
So with Kareem Hunt, it looks like Chubb isn't as great as we're hoping he's going to be.
Yeah, I agree.
Which is obvious it's obvious when Chubb you basically have 2 RB1s on the same team. Somebody's gonna lose there.
How old is Joe Mixon?
Joe Mixon's 23.
Dude, the potential is it's insane.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
All right, so I'm nothing to say about Giovanni Bernard. Absolutely.
He's a backup.
If you're uncomfortable with Joe Mixon's fine. I don't think you need a handcuff with Gio. I think you're fine. So let's move on to the receiving. Let's take a look here. This is the more interesting part. We'll talk about T. Higgins last.
Okay.
All right, so Tyler Boyd, 16 games played, 90 receptions, 148 targets, 1,000-yard season, averaging 11 yards per catch, 5 touchdowns. Tyler Boyd, dude.
Tyler Boyd
definitely doesn't get enough credit for the kind of player he is.
Tyler Boyd is a very undervalued player and somebody
he reminds me, like, I put him in that Marvin Jones kind of category thing. He's like an unsung hero.
I think Tyler Boyd's a lot better.
Oh, yeah. Just because, like, the youth and, like, he has more upside. I'm just saying, like, he just falls in that category of, like, those types of players that they're actually good, but people just sleep on them.
I'm just going off of a website called Fantasy Football Calculator, and it's just getting his ADP. You have Joe Mixon going in the ADP is the 76th pick overall, or the round 7 pick 5 in
for Tyler
teams.
Boyd.
Yes.
Okay,
Tyler Boyd.
Mixon. Okay, Tyler Boyd.
Yeah, Tyler Boyd.
Round.
Yeah,
I would take Tyler. Yeah, I'd take him in 7th round easily.
I would take him earlier than that. I think this guy has high-end wide receiver 2 upside. Are you kidding me?
I think he's the one. I'm gonna fade AJ Green.
I think he's probably gonna end up being their number 1 target.
I think AJ Green's just a smoky cloud. Like he's just like smoking up the team. It's just,
and I think a lot of it too is he's been such a great player for Cincinnati this whole time he's been there, and then he's kind of like a Larry Fitzgerald type player. He's a legend to the franchise, and
sure. But like
him missing basically a season and a half really.
Our boy already signed his contract too.
Mm-hmm.
They got him in early. They locked him in.
Yep.
They got him a deal. It was good money for Tyler Boyd. Respected. I would like to see the touchdowns go up. He did lead the team in touchdowns, which you like to see.
With 5.
Yeah, which is bad, very bad. But I think he gets that up.
Mm-hmm.
What about Auden Tate?
I think he's really going to fall out of favor. I don't think he's going to.
He's got a lot of youth, man.
I mean,
A
he
lot of youth
does.
on this team.
He does. However, at this point, there's too many mouths to feed for all these guys to do well. When you basically have 5 receivers that you could look at being somewhat fantasy relevant.
I don't know. Okay, so
it's just not sustainable.
Auden Tate, 40 receptions, 80 targets, 500 yards. Nothing crazy. Let's not talk about it too much. I'm not interested in Alex Erickson, so let's not talk about that. Let's talk about John Ross, though.
Yep.
So John Ross literally got shot out of a cannon the first game. I remember that. He had what?
First 2 weeks were
28
very nice.
points back-to-back or something like that?
He had 31.3 and 19.2 against
beautiful.
Seattle and San Francisco.
Right, because they were playing behind, and this guy was just sprinting down the field, and Dalton's throwing freaking lasers.
Mm-hmm.
But the problem isn't his skill; it's his injuries. The dude can't stay healthy, boys. I don't know what to say for his ADP. This guy's such a flyer to me. I don't know where he fits into the team.
He's
I think
just
they
the
need
guy.
him. I think they need him, and they want him to stay on the Bengals.
He stretches the field, and it's great. But for fantasy, I don't think he's going to be relevant at all.
To me, he's a wide receiver 3. He's a flex.
He's not even really that.
I would love to have him on my Dynasty team as a flex.
He's so boom bust, and he could end up winning you a week or screwing you over and really putting up basically 3 points.
I'm not even going to read his stats because he only played 8 games.
Yeah. So John Ross,
through those 8 games, he had 28 receptions, 56 targets, 500 yards. He was on pace for a 1,000-yard season. If that says anything to you guys.
Yeah, that's true. But
I know, but
seems like
that's
not,
if he could kept. Yeah, right.
But you also have to understand that. So let me do some quick calculating here. So he had how many yards? 508?
506.
506. So one.
Averaging 18 yards per catch, Jim.
So 506 minus 270. So he basically had over half of his yards in the first 2 games he played.
Yes.
So in the other 6 games, he's completely fucking useless.
Okay. All right, so
he is literally the boom bust.
Okay, he's Deshaun Jackson, but not as good as Deshaun Jackson. I got it.
Yes.
Right.
There's just too much risk with John Ross involved.
Yeah. I'm just saying, the round that you're going to get him in, I just don't think you're taking a big loss.
Sure. Yeah. I'd agree with that.
Okay. So the receiving core is kind of nasty. It's good. Tyler Boyd, John Ross, Auden Tate, and AJ Green. And you got T. Higgins. And T. Higgins. So if I had to, write one of them off, it's Auden Tate or John Ross. So I'm going to say they're going to split time because there's going to be times they need Auden Tate. I'm pretty sure Auden Tate's the bigger guy. He's pretty big.
Auden is
6'5", 228.
5, yeah.
Yeah, he's pretty big.
They also have 6'4".
And John Ross is 5'11", 194.
They do have mostly taller guys in the receiving core, honestly.
So there's going to be times that Auden Tate, they're going to need Auden Tate, and sometimes they're going to need John Ross. They're just 2 different players, right? I think that's how we see it. Tyler Boyd, AJ Green's a 1A, 1B, as long as they're both healthy. And then we get with John Ross and Auden Tate split, and then I say that T. Higgins emerges as the wide receiver 2 kind of guy. There you go. That's how you decipher the code. Tyler Eifert is no longer with us on the Bengals. He's on the Jaguars. Just shitty team to another one. They have CJ Uzomah, 16 games, 27 receptions. Nothing to see here, folks. We don't care.
Yeah, the tight ends here are just completely irrelevant at this point.
Tyler Eifert used to be a beast. Don't know what happened. Injuries. Joe Mixon, let's look at his receptions. 35 receptions off of 45 targets, 287 yards. Not bad.
To a game. I mean, it's
and he
a
had
little over 2 a game.
3 receiving touchdowns.
Mm-hmm.
You love that. Love that. I mean, that's great.
There is a report 5 days ago that Bengals could get relief to sign Joe Mixon. So hopefully they're trying to get him locked up.
They gotta lock him up. They need him.
Oh yeah.
And there's nowhere else for him to go, to be honest with you. So I mean, where else is he gonna go? Everyone has a running back that wants a running back.
Yeah.
No one's paying Big Joe Mixon money. I mean, he's stuck with where he is.
Mm-hmm.
Especially, he had that whole thing in college. He punched that girl in the face or whatever. There's a video. Right?
I don't even remember that. But, I mean, I believe it.
Look it up real quick.
I don't want to look that up.
You're not going to?
Nah. I'm going to look at T. Higgins. I think T. Higgins is going to end up being the dominant number 3 on this team his first season. I'm just really interested in seeing how long it takes AJ Green to kind of move out of the fold. Because I feel like Tyler Boyd's here to stay.
Who is Joe Burrow going to love the most?
See, I guess there's that kind of, not tradition is the word I'm looking for, but that kind of.
I'm not crazy about Green this year.
Oh yeah, 100%. When he's missed a year and a half, you're kind of skeptical about everything until it's proven. But a lot of younger guys like to rely on a nice solid tight end to kind of be the guy that they can just rely on. But I don't see that on this team. I think Tyler Boyd's going to be that safety net for Joe Burrow the majority of the year.
So
I think you could really end up seeing some wide receiver 1 upside with Tyler Boyd this year.
Yeah, here it is. Joe Mixon assault video. I think it was before college. I don't know. I mean, I don't even know what I said. It has nothing to do with Joe Mixon. He's got his life turned around. He's going to get a contract. Hope so, at least. We're rooting for you, Joe. Get that contract, baby.
Get the bread.
All right. So let's talk about where these guys are going to finish next year. Tyler Boyd, he's a top 15 guy for me.
Mm-hmm.
Do you agree with that or disagree?
See,
top 15 is pretty good.
It's really tough to say because I do think he will, but it's almost like, can I actually put Tyler Boyd?
Tyler Boyd or DK Metcalf for placing this year? God. I'm taking Boyd, man. Actually, DK's got the touchdown.
I'd rather take DK.
I'll take DK for the touchdown upside. Yeah.
I think there's more competition for Tyler Boyd, but I think he still emerges as like the safety net for Burrow. So,
yeah, I agree. AJ Green, top 20. Can you do it? I'm saying no.
I think he can if he's healthy and can play the whole year.
T. Higgins, top 20?
No.
Okay. John
I'm
Ross,
not going to support.
Top 40?
No. At that point, it doesn't even matter.
Yeah, you're right.
But, I mean, you've seen when AJ Green is able to play the whole year throughout his whole career. He's a wide receiver 1, low end.
Dude, he's a beast.
Oh, yeah. But it's just the foot injury is very scary.
Dude, I cannot wait to watch this team. I'm pumped to watch this team.
I think it'll definitely be fun for their, 2-minute drills.
I've never been so hyped to watch, the rookies.
I just think the NFL in general is in a really good place.
Oh, it's awesome. No one, okay. There's a couple teams that are, terrible. But, anyone,
but they still have,
it's anyone's
a couple
game.
players on their team that are,
Yeah. I'm liking the Dolphins now. They got tons of pieces to win games.
Even people who think, the Jaguars are just at most the shittiest team. It's, still have DJ Chark.
Gardner
Minshew's interesting.
Gardner and Leonard Fournette.
Exactly.
And they got
There's
Tyler
still
Eifert,
guys that are, fantasy relevant and going to be interesting to keep an eye on.
Exactly, dude. I agree 100%. The NFL is going to be awesome this year. And I can't wait for the Bengals to beat the Browns.
Damn.
Oh, my God. Book it.
Holy
Imagine
shit.
the Bengals beat the Ravens.
It could happen.
Oh, dude, anything can happen in that division. That division's so whack.
Any given Sunday, you know?
That's right. Anyone else on here to cover? All right, let's go. Let's do some over-unders. Let's see what you got. All right. Joe Burrow, over or under 16 touchdowns? We'll include rushing in that also.
Over.
Over under 20.
Over.
25? Or you think that's a good spot right there? 25.
I think that's a push. It's like a push.
Right. Joe Mixon had 5 rushing touchdowns and 3 receiving. You going to give him over or under 11?
Under.
Damn, I'm giving it to him. I'm going over. I say he's gonna go like 12, 13.
Okay.
He's in my top 10, dude. Got to give it to him.
Hey. It could happen.
Joe Burrow gonna throw for 4,000 yards?
I think that's very doable.
I mean, Dalton threw for 3,400 in 13 games.
Yeah, that also means some of these guys when they come in as rookies, like, I'm not going to compare Joe Burrow to Dwayne Haskins, but sometimes rookies don't just.
Can we please not do that?
I'm just saying, like, guys don't always put up insane yards.
Oh, we're definitely covering the Redskins fantasy outlook one day. That will be a fun video.
It will not be a fun video.
Yes, it will, because it'll get heated. There's just so many people on that team, dude, that I just.
Yeah, so many of them. Terry.
Sure. Let's talk some Boyd. Tyler Boyd, can he break 1,300 yards? No way, right? Dude, shut up. There's no way. He had 1,000. He's not putting up 300 more yards. I'm gonna give him 12. I'll give him a 1,200.
I think it's going to be tough to see 1,300 yards for one guy on this team. I think it's going to be spread around a pretty good amount, but Boyd will be the number one still.
All right. Let's push away from fantasy. Let's talk about the NFL. Bengals, what's their record going to be? They going positive or negative?
Negative.
Damn. You're disappointing a lot of people out there, Jim.
That's okay. It doesn't always happen in one year.
Would you rock a Joe Burrow jersey?
I'm not a big quarterback jersey kind of guy.
Do you have any interest in drafting Joe Burrow in Dynasty?
Sure.
What's the value?
He's going in the first. It's just, at what point do you just, where are you comfortable? It all depends on your roster and what you feel as if you need to.
I just don't feel the need to draft him, though, at all.
I mean, if you're in, it's also so hard in Dynasty because you could be trying to tank and it just doesn't happen. Your draft picks end up being not as good as you want. You fall, you lose. You could be like, next year I can try and get Trevor Lawrence, as long as he pans out to be, or Justin Fields, all these guys who you think next year are going to be really, really good.
All right, let's wrap this up. Last question. Who's throwing for more yards this year, Joe Burrow or Tua?
Joe Burrow.
You think so?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
There's more health concerns with Tua. I think Joe Burrow has a more star-studded, not even just star-studded, just a better backfield, a better receiving core, and that poises him. And in a division where a bunch of these teams can put up a bunch of points, I can definitely see him throwing for yards.
All right. All right, let's do one more. Fuck it. Who's having a better season, Joe Burrow or Baker Mayfield?
It's a good one.
Yeah, it is. Let's see how much you really hate him.
Who do I hate, bro?
Baker Mayfield. Like
I don't
everyone
hate
else.
Baker.
Yes, you
I don't
do.
hate Baker.
Everyone
I do
hates him.
not. I don't fucking hate Baker.
Joe Burrow or Baker Mayfield? Better
Give me
fantasy
Baker.
season.
Give me Baker. Fuck it.
By a lot? Like, how many spots ahead is he going to finish by? Like 5? 1?
I'm just gonna say 4. 4.
What are the odds that Big Ben, Lamar Jackson, Baker Mayfield, and Joe Burrow finish in the top 12?
Not very high.
But that'd be awesome.
It would be, but I don't see a
Dude,
whole division.
I'm pumped for this division. It's going to be a good one this year, dude. These teams are awesome.
Oh, I'm so ready for fantasy football
Dude,
again.
this division, dude, oh, God, dude.
It's great. Football's
right.
awesome.
I'm wrapping it up. Thank you for everybody for watching. Like I said, we're going to finish this division up, cover the Ravens for Wednesday's video, and then Jim wants to get into the tight ends on Friday.
Tight ends, baby.
Sure. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe and comment if the Bengals are going positive or negative this season.
5-11, 6-10.